Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Pokemon White version. Last time, we crossed the spine-tinglingly gorgeous Village Bridge, one of my absolute favorite areas in all of Unova, and in all of Pokemon, possibly even in all of video games if we want to get really intense with it, but that would require a lot of time and thought to actually think if that's an accurate statement, and we don't got that kind of time, because this time, we are going to be exploring the area, and that simply cannot wait. Starting off in this tall grass, we got what I learned after reading many books is that there's still a lot of mysteries in the world. Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I thought being an explorer would be a really terrible job because everything's kind of already been found by satellite imagery. Might you happen to be the same Serena that'll become a very prominent Pokemon trainer and one of the best characters the anime has ever turned out in a few years? I don't know. Maybe she, well, no, she can't be from Unova, she's from Kalos, but maybe she moved here in the interim and I'm uncovering new complexities in her character. Starting off, we have a few new Pokemon that can be met in Village Bridge itself, inside a town. Let's meet them.
Oh, you made fun of him. But the barrel is back with a vengeance!
Both abilities are good fun, even if its stats are pretty low. Simple is such a negative name for an amazing ability because you want to give this amnesia. You want to give this workup. Any sort of buffing move makes up for its low stats completely. Waterfall is the natural choice for it. It can use superpower and it has rare access to Super Fang, but it's the kid who tries hard in the face of bullying, and you gotta respect that. Adding to water types that try really hard, Lapras. If only you kept your beta name and you were still named Ness. You're a lot like Ness in that you are a slow offensive character with tons of HP. Lapras is a great switch-in against water and ice moves thanks to its type and water absorb. And it's just a very likable Pokemon. I can't really explain why, it just sort of is. It learns a few moves that you might not have thought of before, like Thunderbolt, that rounded out its type coverage very nicely. Really? Just watch out for the extra weakness brought upon by the ice typing, and it should serve pretty well as a water type. The Pokemon impossible to not immediately think of when you see commercials for buying a car online, it's Carvana! Very common around these here parts, and even at a very high level. The evolved Sharpedo can be found rarely by fishing in rippling water, and this is one of those Pokemon that have been available everywhere, and people automatically assume it's bad because it's so common, but it's actually a pretty decent sweeper. Get it if you want an attacker, not what its ability might make it look like on the surface. I've talked a lot about how I like abilities like Rough Skin, and the Rocky Helmet makes them even more potent, but use this with caution because its defenses are about as frail as a Lillipup, so don't think its ability is a sign for letting it take hits. Next up, in the southeastern corner of town, we got a seminar for how to cook your Pokemon. I'm happy to be able to eat with my Pokemon. My Pokemon has a big appetite, just like me, so you're fattening him up. A berry dish for people and Pokemon. The chef can show her off her skill with it. You can eat here with your Pokemon. It's a really good sandwich shop. Welcome. Thank you for making a reservation for a battle. I didn't sign up for this. You got the wrong guy. I swear I'm not Emily. Or I guess that joke doesn't work because my character is named Blair. Baker Chris has a Combee. I guess that makes sense for them to have because honey never goes bad. It would be nice to kind of have an endless supply of it in hand because Combee just kind of gathers it from nowhere. Give me that Rock Slide. Do an insane amount of damage with Combee having almost no defense, being quad weak, my same time attack bonus. I'm sure it adds up to millions of damage and that Combee has just been grounded into honey dust. Oh! Getting what I deserve. What are you? Ursaring, your sprite looks really, really silly. Your arms look like they don't have elbows. They're just kind of moving up and down about 1 point, because that's probably what they're actually doing. Yeah. Scare me by showing me your very terrifying nipples and belly button that vaguely resemble a face. We all did it as kids. Doesn't matter, you're down. Rock wants to learn Thrash. I don't want a normal type move. I also don't want to be locked into attacking when you're so fragile in battle. Your strength is more than I imagined. I am pleased. I'm rejecting all of the good moves in battle lately whenever I try to learn them. You are great. I want to hire you. What do you think? Will you work here as a waiter? That's great. I'm so glad. That said, do you already know what you'll be doing? Sorry, I never had a job working in, well, I did have a job working in food service, but not as a waiter. This shop is a special sandwich shop. You'll take orders from customers. Then, I'll make sandwiches to fill their orders. You'll serve the sandwiches to the customers who order them. Please be careful and don't serve them to the wrong customers. Thank you. I hope you'll do a great job. I'd like a Persimberry sandwich. That's my Pokemon's favorite. Got it. Pikachu does not like being confused. My Pokemon and I are craving a Chestoberry sandwich, please. Minchino does not like being asleep. We're really hungry today, so a large Cherryberry sandwich, please. The Crocorock can't be paralyzed, unless you hit it with Body Slam. My Pokemon has gourmet taste. I'd like a Cherryberry sandwich, please. So you're afraid of being paralyzed. Gotcha. What kind of sandwich does customer number 1 want? Pikachu did not like being confused. What kind of sandwich does customer number 2 want? Patrat was afraid of being paralyzed. Minchino doesn't like falling asleep. And Crocorock can't even be paralyzed, but he has anxiety over it. You're fast. The sandwiches are ready. Please give them to the customers who want them. Yes, I will serve the Persimberry sandwich to the Pikachu. Munch, munch, yummy! My Pokemon is also happy. Let's put that to the test. Pika! I'm imagining it like this is the Pokemon Stadium. The Pokemon Stadium voice clip where Pikachu goes Pika. I've heard that lately, and I forgot how much I really like the intro to that game. Chestoberry for Minchino. I like the sound effect when the music notes are above their heads. It's very unique. Doesn't sound like anything else. I wish they'd bring it back. Let me give you a review. Your work was perfect. The customers seem to be satisfied too. This is a thank you gift. You've worked really hard. A Lumberry. That is the ultimate status berry. It heals all status conditions. That's it for today. I would be happy if you could come back again tomorrow. So yet another daily event that is renewable that you're gonna want to remember as you continue on your travels. Trash can is empty. I have my dowsing machine up, so I don't know why I thought it would be any different, but that's everything in Village Bridge. I guess we're moving on. I'm gonna miss the place. There's not really a whole lot to do there now. It's difficult to decide which Pokemon is the best for my grandchild to meet first. My grandpa is gonna catch a Pokemon for me. I will become a friend of my Pokemon, and someday we will travel in Unova together. So that's what you meant by meeting. You wanted to catch her one. I thought you meant that she lived such a sheltered life that she'd never even seen a Pokemon before, and I'm like, wow, how'd you manage that? I'm sorry, I forgot my uniform. I didn't even notice. Had you not pointed that out, I wouldn't have even been aware of it. That was pretty funny. Oh, what's this? What's this? The whole city can be seen from the huge bridge. Names will bring you wonderful relationships. I guess if you didn't have a name, it'd be kind of hard to introduce yourself to people, so that is true. A Pokemon outbreak at Route 5. So, I wanted to see what that... People have no sense of time in Canosa Town. They don't even have clocks at home. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to loop back around to that, and now it's just repeating. People like Canosa Town finish work when the sun sets. That's what I wanted to see. Okay. But let us hurry onward. As we press on and on and on, I recommend that you pull out right away your dowsing mechon. Your item finder will be your best friend in exploring this very hilly and actually pretty short route. It might not have a lot in the way of exploration or in the way of actual having a lot of something, but it has a lot of substance, I'll just say that. Plus, there's TM53 Energy Ball just in the middle of this little meadow. Makes sense with it being a grass type move. That is an excellent special attack. I don't want to save. In my celebration of picking up such a good item, I guess I really didn't want to lose it, but you can now see it took me 74 hours to do everything. I want to see if I can teach that. 80 power, 100 accuracy, special grass type damage can be learned by absolutely no one. If only either of you two could have it, it would be kind of nice. I feel like I can just not learn any TMs that I am picking up, or I just don't want to for one reason or another. How about we rectify that? I have come to a decision about a certain move. We're gonna teach Earthquake to Rock. What move are we getting rid of? I think Crunch. I do still use Crunch. Not saying that it's bad. I just feel like that if I want to switch into somebody that has the initiative with a Dark-type move, I'd be a lot more likely to switch into Terabyte because they both know it. However, they're both going to know a Ground-type move, but I think Rock definitely has situations in which I would still switch into it to use a Ground-type move more often than I would, say, Dark. We'll give that a try, and if not, we have a heart scale. We can totally do that. I've also been thinking about Swords Dance for Samurott a little bit, and as long as we're still exploring the land, I want to have Surf on one of our main team members just for added convenience. As a result of that, I probably will teach it. I think that I'm just going to wait on it a little bit longer until we're done exploring areas that have us surfing. I also want to pull this out, see what else I can find. We got another tiny mushroom. Pretty sure that these respawn from time to time. Jeez. I knew that I was saying that I recommend pulling tiny mushroom. And I am never going to get to actually do anything here, am I? A big mushroom! Upping the ante on us a little bit. Getting a little bit more potent fungus. I have to know what that is. I can never see a field encounter and not just pick it up. I don't think I ever mentioned what the leftovers do. You restore, I think, 1/16 of your HP every turn. Is a good item, very good on tanky Pokemon, and also just when you don't know what else to give your Pokemon as a hold item, I'll be frank. Oh, well, if you weren't flying, you would be a fine guinea pig to serve for Rock's new Earthquake. What do you say? Trainer tips. Even the same kind of Pokemon can have different abilities. Ooh, you're teaching us this stuff in the post-game. What a timely place to be bringing up such a hot tip that people would not already know. Finally grabbing that we could see from the very beginning. A full heal, how disappointing and anticlimactic to end on. What is not, however, is... I heard rustling. Did I hear rustling grass? No, I think it was just me walking through it. What is not disappointing, however, are the trainer battles. There are many of them worth fighting, and I think it's okay to have a battle during a picnic, right? We will rattle you and your Pokemon with our perfect combination. That sounds like a good idea. Let's see how well we can rattle this ground. Now that we have two Pokemon with Earthquake backers. I've personally been disappointed by too many campaigns to really give them any of my money these days, but hey, you guys can do whatever you want and believe in what you want to believe. I'm not getting many good opportunities to use that Earthquake now, am I? Crunch? Sure. I think all I have to do is just connect the double Rock Slide and I'm probably good. Yeah? Rock doesn't need your stinky Earthquake for people that were saying that it was a natural thing to teach it. He's too darn good. I think maybe if I want to test out that Earthquake... Well, I think that's the only double battle that we're going to be seeing. I want to fight the trainers around here because we got a lot of Pokemon to go over for one. We have... Quite frankly, there are so many Pokemon in this route that I feel like the natural ecosystem has got to be in very, very deep doo-doo. And you have a Paris. All right, it's not really worth our time. We'll try it out in some other important fight, I guess. Let us just get started. I always wondered where all those trainers in Gold and Silver got their level 50 Metapods from. But anyway, it knows one move. Harden. Yeah, even at this level. It evolves in one level, which means having to use a heart scale to teach it anything. This family is only found in white version. You can trade the headache of spending a lot of time to reteach moves for the headache of finding a 5% fully evolved Butterfree and Rustling Grass, if that sounds less headachy to you. Believe it or not, I think Butterfree is pretty cool now. I fully admit that it has its flaws, specifically 7 of them, and they're called HP, Attack, Defense, Special Attack, Defense, Speed, and Type. But it has 2 main strategies that set it apart from everything else, and they're pretty fun to use. First off, it's one of very, very few Pokemon to have Quiver Dance, which is already a massive plus. Don't need to say it any further than that. It can put this buff power to good use, and some might like that. But where it really shines would be through Compound Eyes, making its Sleep Powder almost 100% accurate. Butterfree is fast for 100% sleep standards, and the fact that it's able to buff with Quiver Dance while the enemy sleeps, don't lie. Despite its flaws, that sounds pretty fun. Harden. Only found in black version, Beedrill is awful! It learns almost no attacking moves it can make good use of, has a bad type for what its stats are, and is so outclassed and frail. The only things available to it that are remotely useful are Swords Dance, X-Scissor, and Brick Break. For a good same type attack bonus move, Poison Jab isn't even all that worth it because in a lot of cases, Bug is just factually better than Poison as an attacking type. It's bad. I'll only consider it if you like Beedrill and want a personal challenge. Rapidash is a Unovan fire type that's outclassed, or UFO for short. There's a lot to love and talk about for hours when it comes to Rapidash, but Unova is already so chock full of the best fire types around. Flash Fire is a great ability that makes it able to switch in more often than what a pure fire type could normally do. You got Mega Horn, Flare Blitz, and Wild Charge. Not much else, but do you really need much else? I'm sure trainers would prefer a dual type to go with the fire, but Rapidash is at least mildly respectable, and certainly better than what we just came off of. Hey, I'm a beefy bug. My name is Pincer. This one's interesting. Usually a Pokemon with very high attack isn't granted both bulk and speed in this capacity, unless we're talking about my beloved Kraganol, of course. It uses Swords Dance and X-Scissor. It has a lot of fighting type moves to consider, oddly. Has Stone Edge and is a great user of Earthquake thanks to Mold Breaker getting through Levitate. On the note of Mold Breaker combined with great type coverage, it's just not walled by a lot of Pokemon and packs a punch against a lot of teams, and it leaves you with a bug type that's just cool. I guess moving on to other cool beefy bugs, Heracross is a lot like Pincer in having beautiful attack with good speed and bulk that are at least respectable. Heracross is a bit more raw power with Guts being so easy to set off with the right held item, so it is a little bit different than Pincer at least. It has great moves for both of its own types, has Stone Edge, has Earthquake, has Swords Dance. Isn't much else to say, it's very good, and I think you'll like it if you never gave bug types much chance in the past. That's all getting thrown out the window as we move on to Sunkern, the weakest of all Pokemon in terms of stats. You don't want to hear about it more. We're actually here to talk about Sunflora, who sucks a little less ass and can rarely be found around here. Sunflora is still bad. Pure Grass is a bad defensive type. It's laughably slow. Chlorophyll is about the stupidest ability they could have possibly given it, and it just gives off a general air of, it's a slow grass type, so we'll give it something to deal with one of those two bad things. It feels like there wasn't much care or thought put into what it would actually get to do with that increased speed. It's meant to spam Solar Beam, but without another team member setting up Sunny Day for it, it just won't get a lot of chances to even do that. I guess you could say Trick Room is where it would shine brightest, but really, just use other grass types, please. What's next? Another game, another time that I talk about how much I like Dunsparce and wish it got an evolution. If you look at what Dunsparce is capable of, you can see that it learns a sheer abundance of great moves, almost to Audino levels, and it would get a lot of mileage out of that Serene Grace ability. It has so much going for it in the way of moves and in that ability, except its stats are just so awful and it doesn't come together. It seems as though they're more or less done with giving old Pokemon new evolutions in the present, but please, just go back and give Dunsparce one before you retire the practice for good. Please. I want Dunsparce to be good. Moving along to another bad Pokemon, for the love of Sinnoh and Dawn Socks, don't catch a male Combee. It might be one of the worst Pokemon ever, with these being its fully evolved stats together with the type that it has. I have had so many people who've caught this, raised it to like level 50, and asked me, hey, when does Combee evolve? Rarely, the scare of catching a male Combee can be avoided completely by catching a fully evolved Vespiquen in the wild. It's in better straits, but it's still not that great. It's a tanky bug flying type, which is already a little bit questionable. It works well against fighting grass and ground, of course, but not a lot else and is weak to many common types. If it wants to tank, it thankfully has Toxic, Protect, and Heal Order, which is a signature move that restores 50% HP without the ground susceptibility of Roost that other flying types would have to deal with. It also has unique access to Defend Order, which is just Cosmic Power, and Attack Order, which is a 90 power physical bug type move with a high critical chance. Basically, a factually better X-Scissor. Attack and Heal Orders are definitely recommended for any moveset that it could possibly have for Versus. The other interesting option that it has is Power Gem, since Rock certainly helps type coverage for a bug type. It's just a pretty basic Pokemon in what it does, and doesn't really do a lot more than that. We are almost done Cherrim. I wonder how many people think Cherrim is some kind of eggplant and have never seen what it actually looks like. You can see it on screen right now just in case you've never seen it. It's so cute that it only makes me wish I liked it more as a fighter. It's based around Sunny Day and is best used in doubles or triples because of that simply stellar ability. Mediocre stats across the board in pure grass type don't help what's an incredibly generic move pool. If you don't believe me, its level up and TM moves are entirely grass moves, normal moves, toxic, Sunny Day, and rest. I've just listed every single move that Cherrim learns. And last up is the Swarm, Doduo, a fast, hard-hitting normal flying type, and that's about it. Not worthless, but just very basic yet again. If you want something to use Return well, use Drill Peck, and use Pursuit well. It'll serve that purpose, but won't be doing much of anything else. I wish it had Brave Bird through means other than breeding. Pokemon breeders patrolling this rather untraveled road in search of other breeders will give you citrus berries for felling them in battle. Probably the longest way of saying that I could have ever possibly constructed. That's a challenge for you. See if you can construct an even longer way. Welcome to Canosa Town. I know that I've said it already, but this is another pronunciation that I very strongly disagree with, even though it's the official one. Because I always pronounced it Canosa Town. You know, like, you lack a nose. Makes perfect sense, right? I always pronounced it that way, and then I found out it was Canosa Town, and my immediate thought was, there are far better ways to convey that pronunciation through spelling if that's what you're going to do. You know about Gracidia flowers? Since early times in Sinnoh, people made bouquets of Gracidia flowers to give to someone to show their feelings of appreciation. You know things that are not meant for this world. I'll remember you. Every gym badge tells a story of a hard-won victory against a worthy opponent. Or it tells about the time that you soloed an electric-type gym leader with a flying type. I can look at a gym badge. Oh, yes, you're that guy. I thought you were introduced in a later game. Cool. Let's see these. Okay, trio badge with Oshawott, Lillipup, 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 and Panseer. I remember it like it was only yesterday. Sure. Basic badge with Blitzel, Duat, Lillipup, 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 and Throw. Insect badge with Sandile, Duat, Blitzel, Lillipup, Lillipup, Lillipup. Sure. The Lillipups are slowly disappearing. Bolt badge. Arcan, yep, Arcan out in the lead, definite. Zipstrika, who never got to fight. Croc, who never got to fight. Duat, who never got to fight. Dwebble, and Lillipup. Aw, they're becoming an endangered species over time. Quake badge with Duat, Crocorock, Arcan, Trubbish, Zipstrike, and Lillipup. You don't really tell us who actually won the fight for us. I think by the Jet badge we still had a Lillipup, yep. I still miss the little guys. Having my little canine entourage was kind of nice, just having them give me free items all the time. And yeah, we know what the legend badge is. Cool. I was kind of happy to see this guy again. Gragonal didn't really do its intended purpose in that fight either. I was just winning gym badges in ways I didn't even intend to win them most of the time. You're just a regular old guy. I stocked up not too long ago on supplies. I don't think I really need anything that much. But the lower clerk has mail, because that's what you want to see this far in. Bridge Mail V is kind of cool. Painting of a brick bridge, let Pokemon hold it for use. I think that's referencing the village bridge. Actually, yeah, it's totally what the V stands for, and it says it's a brick bridge. I am understanding the basic concepts, and that lady looks like the Exorcist. All right. So, with us arriving in a new town, I think that's going to about do it. Next time on Pokemon Black and White, we see just what this ambiguously pronounced town is all about. See you guys then. And kid, you look terrifying.